Welcome to the Matrix, guys. We just finished watching a TV show called The Bear. We're coming to you guys with a review for season two. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in a second. Okay, so like I said, we just finished watching a TV show. It took us like a week to binge. We just started from the beginning, started fresh. We had no idea what the show was going to be about. We just finished catching up to it. Now we're about to review it. Wajid, can you tell us what we're about to review?
All right, so the show is Gordon Ramsay show,
Oh,
all
it's
right,
a Gordon
where
Ramsay
he
show. Yeah,
continuously just where he just continuously swears at his
yeah,
employees and
cusses all
all
the
all the
time.
chefs. Yeah, it just cusses all the time,
Yeah.
every few seconds. He just this cuss.
Yeah, it's
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 just
like Kitchen Nightmares
it's
the
a
show.
hell.
Yeah, it's like hell,
Yeah,
Kitchen Nightmares the show. But yeah, we
yeah,
we just
yeah.
finished watching a show called catching up to it. We didn't finish because it's continuing, it's ongoing. But we just finished catching up to a show called The Bear. Uh, for those of you living in the U.S., it's on Hulu. For those of you that are not, it's on Disney Plus. You guys can check it out. It's two seasons. Very short, very quick. Some episodes can get over like 30 minutes, but generally they float around that range. So they're very easy to, they're very bingeable. It's a bingeable show. Very bingeable show, easily bingeable. We've managed to finish it in a week despite our busy schedules and everything. But yeah, I wanted to dive into this, talk about this show because, dude, I don't know about you, but I love this show. I love it. It is just,
No, this was amazing. There's so many amazing moments in this show. Overall, the acting
yeah,
and like the dialogues, like there was this one monologue in the final episode of season one, just
yeah.
a 7 minutes monologue. It was just beautiful,
Yeah,
straight up
no,
beautiful.
this show is so damn good, man. The writing of the show is
Mm,
just like on a different level, bro. If it's a show is good when like you're basing something off of like some like it's not a fantasy, it's based on reality, like chefs in a kitchen. You know it's good when real life chefs are the ones that are saying like it's hard to watch because it's so real. There are so many
mm,
there's so many cases of like real life chefs that are like unable to watch the show because of just how real it is. So
how
much
real?
chaos. I would never work in a kitchen, man. Absolutely not. No way.
Nah,
Nah,
nah.
that chaos.
This was just like like we look at like the main characters, when
Mm,
they're like in the kitchen, and
mm,
just when they suddenly get like a bunch of orders
mm.
coming up to them,
Things
and
getting tense.
they're just rushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tense.
Mm.
Someone's losing like
Or temper.
their pans and all,
Mm.
and over there it's a complete like hell, man. Like
It's a shit show. I mean, like, and the beautiful thing is like the cool thing is weird thing actually is like that they're like so friendly with each other outside of that stuff,
mm.
but then as soon as they're in the kitchen, it's like I'm gonna kill you, man. Let's go, come on. Let's rush
They're
it.
all enemies.
They're
They're all
all
enemies.
enemies, man. Just they hate each other. I just love it, man. There's just so much chaos, so much like, all that. But let's first gloss over season one because we didn't get the chance to talk about it mostly because the channel didn't
Mm.
exist back then, but also because we just caught up to it. So we just finished watching season one as well.
Yeah.
Why don't you gloss
Mm.
over season one, man? What you think about season one? It was a nice
All
introduction to
right,
the show,
so
right?
yeah, let me just say like so the main character of the show is his name is Carmen. He's played by Jeremy Allen White,
Yes.
and he is this one big time chef that comes from New York. He works at the world's best
Best restaurant in the
restaurant in the
world.
world. Yeah, yeah, and so he comes back to his hometown to take over a family restaurant because his sadly his brother passed away,
Mm,
and the reason for that is that because his brother shot himself in the head,
yeah.
and
He
he
unfortunately
left
committed
behind
suicide.
he yeah, yeah, he unfortunately committed suicide, and the brother left behind this family restaurant to the little brother, and so he decided to take up this responsibility, try to make, because the restaurant is in a really bad situation, like the environment and everything, like what's going on in the kitchen is just, it's straight up horrible. It's dirty, it's unorganized, and what Carmen wants to do is like make it organized, make it like he wants to clean it up, and eventually changed the restaurant into naming it the Bear.
Hmm.
So, Mohammed, would
Yeah,
you?
so yeah, it's pretty much what you described. This is what the first season was mostly about, the setup of this
Mm,
idea of like this restaurant that will be like, like in honor of his brother Michael that passed away. But
yeah.
yeah, you see him in the beginning and he's just in this like terrible state and just like things aren't working, and then this strange character, Sydney walks in, and she's like, "Hey, I want a job here." And like he's so confused because he's like, "Do you see this place? Do you see how chaotic this is?" But she says like, "Oh, but you're this great chef, and like, and, like I've heard all about you, and I want to work here and stuff like that." And she joins him, like it takes some time for her to get for the characters to accept her, because what I think was like the thing that worked with the original name of the restaurant was called The Beef, right? The thing
The
that
beef.
worked with them was that they were all like they had like a familial bond with each other. Everyone just like they knew each
Mm,
other, so they trusted each other. So when you have
yeah.
a character, an external character, I think that we kind of viewed the show through her lens, right? That when you kind of when a new character comes in, it's like they're kind of pushing them away. Like Tina was pushing her away, and like she's a really sweet
Yeah.
person, but she was pushing her away. Like it was just like it was hard for her to acclimate. Her and Richie were fighting all the time. It was really hard for her to kind of like integrate herself. But then you slowly kind of as the episodes roll in, like I think by the fourth or third or fourth episode, she's good with everyone and like she's kind of like
Yeah.
welcomed in and people are starting to trust her and open
Mm,
themselves up, things like that. And like you see that the state of the characters, the chemistry starts to like build together. So I think that's the beautiful thing about it. It's like
mm,
the actors
yeah.
and the characters all together, it's like they both have chemistry. It's like it's not just the characters and the way they're written, but the actors themselves, you can
Mm,
tell like they feel like they're real life like friends. It's like it's just so cool. It's like it looks like it feels like they've known each other for years. Like it feels like Carmy and Richie have known each other for years. Like the just the there's the tension sometimes is between them, all that stuff. Like you kind of feel that. It feels like a real bond. And I think that's carried by the acting one, but also the writing as well, which is just absolutely out of this world, man. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, so you kind of see the show through her lens in the beginning, but and you like she has all these ambitions and these goals and these ideas, and she wants to kind of rise up the ranks and things like that. And every character has their own thing, but like the highlight of the first season and maybe the show overall is season one, episode seven, which everyone as
Episode
the
7.
famed episode seven that everyone was talking about. Everyone was saying like I started the show and all of my friends were saying like, "Hey man, wait until you get to episode seven. That thing's gonna be insane." But yeah, Wajid, tell me what do you think? What did you think about episode seven?
Okay, so before I jump into episode 7, I just want to say, like Mohammed said, right? Sydney, she everyone like didn't really like her that much in the beginning, but then slowly, like, they started to get to know her. And honestly, by episode 6, it's like the episode 6 is like the calm before the storm.
Yeah,
And when episode 7 started, right, everyone was talking about episode 7, right? And when I started episode 7, I saw it's only 20 minutes. I'm like, what can they do in 20 minutes,
yeah.
right?
What's the hype?
So
What's
let
where's
me
the hype coming from? It's
yeah,
like
what's
damn.
where's the hype going? Yeah,
Yeah,
so let me just say, like, 20 minutes, right? It was all done in one shot.
one take.
One shot and one take. And it is just like, yeah, one take, sorry. And it was just like pure chaos.
Yeah,
Literally, it is just
absolutely.
pure chaos. Everyone losing their mind, especially Carmen losing his like shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
he's swearing, he's just like he's telling like chefs, get the hell off my business, and bro, it is
Yeah.
just like
No, it was
and
a high
uh,
tension episode, man. It was.
yeah,
Yeah, what were you
it was,
saying?
and like I was gonna say, like, because like in season 1, right? Honestly, Richie was my least favorite character just because of how much of a dick he was. All
Yeah.
right, but in episode 7, bro, it's just like I felt like Richie was the most calmest out of all,
Hmm.
compared to like Carmen, Sydney losing her mind like over
Hmm.
Richie, and Carmen just in general, it was just mad throughout
Yeah.
the entire episode. It's just like and he was also mad at Marcus, who was like this really chill dude. Marcus is like one of my favorite characters in the show,
Yeah.
just a straight up chill dude. So just like, and at the end of the episode, like Marcus and Sydney, they just quit. They just quit because of Carmen, and yeah, it's like tension,
Yeah,
nothing but
it was high
tension,
stakes, and
chaos.
you kind of see like the characters like even though they lived in chaos, some of them like a lot of them actually like couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it. Marcus
Mm,
was new to the cooking world, so like this was obviously just new grounds for him. He was not
yeah.
acclimated to this level of like like this high stakes stuff. He wasn't wasn't used to it.
Hmm.
Sydney as well. She had an idea, it failed miserably. Carmen was just taking it out on everyone. All of that was going on, and you brought up a good point about Richie maybe being like he wasn't really calm, but like you can see that he wasn't like losing his mind, in the sense of
Yeah.
like I think because his world is already chaotic that this little
Yes.
chaos won't really have much effect on him. But like it was a very high
Mm.
tension episode, but it was a huge turning point for a lot of characters, and that like
What I just, sorry to cut
mm,
you. I just wanted to say one thing regarding Sydney. Sydney and Richie is that they had this one interaction.
mm,
Uh, kind of at the end of the episode, close to the end of the episode, before Sydney left, and it's just like, she just in a way she roasted Richie, but it was kind of like a shit way of roasting.
mm.
She's like being a dick about it,
Yeah, no, I mean
in a
she went
sense.
on
Well,
about his
how
kid and like
yeah,
his
about his,
wife
yeah.
and him being divorced and all that stuff.
That
Yeah,
was trash, and
yeah,
that's like what shows, like, how like the kitchen can just transform, like, or just show the basically the ugliness inside a person.
yeah.
Like, it's this tension definitely, but just that was
Yeah,
really like,
no, it was high tension, but
hard to watch,
also
to
a
be honest.
turning point for a lot of characters in that like Sydney,
Mm,
Sydney realized like she can't work under this level of pressure, stuff like that. Even though she'd made the mistake, it really started with her. But there was that,
yeah.
and then Marcus kind of realizing, it's like, oh, this is how restaurants are like. Like, damn, this is stuff
Mm,
that happens. And then Carmen also realizing that like this isn't how you operate. This isn't how a restaurant works. It's like you have to be calm. You're the head chef, you're at the top, you have to be the one that's the most calm, so that everyone else stays calm. But he lost his mind, so everyone else did, and so it unraveled like that. And like you see that there's a lot of episodes in the show that kind of have like people just unraveling, stuff like that, a lot of pent up anger and stuff like that. But I think episode 7 just showed like just it was so raw, one take, so you felt like you were a part of the kitchen, you felt like you were a part of the chaos. You're just seeing everyone around you. The camera pans here, you see Marcus doing his thing. You camera pans around here. Sydney is running around, just arguing with Richie. Like Ibrahim is somewhere, Tina's somewhere, Carmen is just screaming. It's just this whole chaotic thing, and I love that they did it with one take because I don't think it would have captured the tension if it wasn't in one take. It had to be one take because you had to feel
mm,
like you were a part of
yeah.
it. You were a part of the kitchen. You were moving around the kitchen and stuff like that, which I think they just the people that made the show is just just chef's kiss, honestly. But yeah,
Chef's kiss.
that's mostly what season 1 encompassed. It's just kind of like the starting
Mm,
point, and like the conclusion being that they're about to start this restaurant and they're gonna call it the Bear.
mm,
A real like cool thing. It's like, oh, they tied it in with the title. It's so cool, but
yeah.
it's like this is what the show is about. This is what they're leading into, and it's like 8 short episodes, but like it's done just beautifully. And then we start to season 2, man. We go into season 2, which is what we're reviewing actually. So
Yes.
this is the main review, season 2, man. Season 2, what'd you think, man? Overall.
Season two is amazing because season one, like the episodes, they had like different times, like some were short, some were like a bit longer than the others. Season two, I kind of saw it as like each episode was like around like 40 mark, like 40 minutes mark,
Yeah,
in
there
my
were some of
opinion.
them are
And
kissing that like 40 minute
yeah,
mark. Yeah,
except for episode six, that was like an hour
yeah.
long episode, but that was a really long one.
Mm.
But season two was just this takes place like outside the kitchen, because at the end of, like Muhammad said, at the end of season one, they closed down the beef and are now starting to work on opening up the beer. So they're basically transforming the beef into the beer. They got money. They got money to do that now. They're reconstructing and all, renovating, which costs a lot, and they're failing few tests and all. And basically, the whole season just takes place outside the kitchen, going like on the daily lives of the chefs. Marcus is outside of America. He went to Sweden. Did he go to Sweden?
Denmark. He
Was it
went
Sweden?
to Copenhagen.
Denmark. My bad, Denmark. He went to Denmark to learn how to make more sweets and all. It's just everyone's kind of doing their own thing throughout season two, until like at the around episode 9 they all come together. The restaurant is finally whole. The beer is ready to open up, and yeah, the first day is
Mm,
introducing the restaurant to their family and friends. That's what
yeah.
their main goal is like.
Yeah, no, that's what
Yeah.
season two was. Yeah, that generally encompasses what season two was about, man. It's like it's just,
Mm,
man, honestly, like this show is just wow. Because like season two focuses a lot more, like you said, it's outside of the kitchen. So it focuses a lot more
yeah.
on dissecting our characters further. We
Yeah.
get to see more of their emotion. We get to see more of their trauma.
Yes.
Like we get to see more of Marcus. We had no idea that Marcus had a sick mother. And we get to see that.
Yeah.
We get to see that, oh, this character has like problems outside of the kitchen. You know, he has a life outside of the kitchen. He's a real character. You know, he has these things, all that stuff. We see Marcus. We saw Marcus, and then we see like Ibrahim and Tina having to deal with having to go back and like relearn a few things. I think it's to like renew their license or something, you know. And
Yes.
then you see Sydney trying to form up this menu and like try to manage the restaurant. And you see her dynamic with Carmen, and then Carmen as well. His life is starting to take a turn because another character is coming into his life, Claire. You
Yeah.
know, it's like a romantic interest
Claire.
and stuff like that. You know, and then you have Richie as well, who's
I
going
really.
through his own
Yeah.
development, his own things and stuff like that. And you kind of so, like you said, it takes place outside of the kitchen, but you also get to see a lot more of the characters' emotions, and I think that's just really fantastic because even though we did see some of it
Mm,
in season one, we get to see all of it in season two. We get to see
mm.
like I feel like I know these characters. It's as if I know Carmen. I know, you
It's
know,
more in depth,
yeah,
definitely. It's more in depth compared to
yeah,
season one.
yeah.
The character, especially with the with episode six,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
episode
So
six.
episode six, season two, episode six is the highlight of well, at least most people dub it as the highlight of season two. You know, it's a flashback episode. It takes place in Christmas, 5 years before the show happens. And in
Mm,
that, like you said, bro, we take a deeper dive into the characters, so we get a deeper look into the Brazato family, you know, and their dynamic and like just how messed up it all is and the root of all of that pain and everything, all that stuff like that Carmen has gone through. We get to see like a good chunk of it, so you understand like, damn, oh, whoa, okay, this is why he is the way that he is, and you just watch like the episode. It's just so. I mean, we talked about tension in episode seven, but then we go to this one, and it's like a different level. You're watching
oof.
this
I
whole thing
just
every single second, just watching everything unravel every single second, man. It's like as the episode just kind of progresses, it just gets worse and worse, and like it just makes you feel tense. It's like, oh my god, my heart. While I was watching the episode, I was messaging you. I was like, I don't want to look. I can't look, man. I can't look.
I
Especially yeah.
I like I swear I did not watch the episode like without not like using my phone. I watched
Yeah.
the episode using my phone. Like I was like same like I was messaging you, or I
Mm,
was like on like YouTube watching shorts and all.
mm.
I was just like trying to get my attention because every time like a fight, because the fights in that episode would
The
just like
mom. It
start
was the
up
mom, man.
immediately.
It
It
was
was
the
the
mom.
mom,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
the
she was
mom.
like
But it was the
fighting.
mom. It
Yeah.
was the mom. But like and also like Michael and
Of course. Yeah.
what was his name?
Lee. I know you.
What's
I know you were talking
Lee?
about Lee, but like that happens towards the
Lee
end. But I think the majority of like the episode, the tension started. The tension starts with the mom
with
because
the
because
with the
sugar
mom. Yeah,
because sugar keeps
yeah,
asking her mom, "Are you okay?" And her mom hates that question. So the episode starts with
yeah,
them being outside. They're standing outside. They're like, "Okay, do not ask her again. Don't ask her." And she's like, "Okay, I won't." And then they go in, and you're introduced to this chaos, and like the mom is shouting and and she's like crying and like, you guys hate me, and like you can tell she's very unstable. I'm
mm,
not really sure as to why. I think maybe it has something to do with the father who's not present in the episode, but maybe it has something to do with him. I'm not entirely sure, but you can tell she's emotionally unstable, and she's like
Mm.
screaming and like just upset, and you can tell like this is where Carmy and like Mike and like Sugar, all the rage, it comes from there. It comes from their mom, you know. It's like that. It's like, you know. And yeah, so yeah, it's like you described the tension between Mike and Lee, who's also a character who's played
Yes.
by Bob Odenkirk, which was surprised.
It's all good,
The
man.
cast in that episode was insane, man. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
John Mulaney, Jamie Lee Curtis, right? Bob Odenkirk, John Bernthal. It's just, I mean, wow. Honestly, it's just so it's like they
It's
got
like
good actors to play this, like to play these characters, and I think that's
they
also
got
something that
yeah,
yeah.
they got great. The surprise like surprise actors that were like in season 2 was just like it's a
Mm.
gold.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
we
like
had Will
gold.
Poulter as well, who you described. I mean, he went to
Yeah.
Denmark to meet Will Poulter's
Yes.
character. You know,
Yes.
who
That
I
was a
thought he was gonna.
surprise for me. Like it was just
Hmm, what were you gonna say?
yeah, we're saying nothing, nothing. I just
Ah,
said like it was a surprise.
huh,
Like just seeing
hmm,
he just immediately just came up on screen, and
yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit, man!"
Mm.
Like
Yeah, no, I thought he was gonna be like this mean, cruel character, but I'm glad that he was really nice and it was fun. And I saw the chemistry
a
with him
very
and Mark.
chill guy, very
Yeah,
chill guy.
but back to episode 6 again, because that's what we're talking about. Again, so everything unravels and stuff like that, but you see the tension from the mom from the beginning, from the get go. She's just on smoke with everyone. She's like, "Carmy, don't touch this. Sydney, get away!" And like you have Richie as well. He also has his thing as well. His we get to see his wife. You know, like she's pregnant with their daughter, and like she's been vomiting, she's been sick, and there's that chaos from there. And he's trying to get a job, you know, stuff like that from Cicero, and like it's just this whole thing of just so much chaos and like all like screaming, running around, you know. But one thing that I really liked was the dynamic between Mikey and Carmy. You know, their
Mm,
discussion when he I think he went to go and get saltines or something. His mom sent him to get
yes.
something, and like they meet and they talk, and like you know, Mike is like, dude, you know, it's like, I'm proud of you and stuff like that and everything, you know, and like you see them like you see like Carmen, like he's like, you know, I have this gift for you, and like let's do this, we can do this thing. I think they were planning to start the bear together. I think I'm not sure,
Yes.
but
Yes.
yeah, so like they wanted to do that, and like when Carmen leaves the scene, you see Michael's face, and like it broke my heart, man. You can see him like breaking down, like he starts crying, and it's just like such a sad moment, man. Honestly, you know, and like you just get to see like this, like he's such a like in front of everyone, he maintains this exterior of like I'm Michael, I'm this, and he's funny, and everyone loves him. But just as Carmen described in season 1, that like everyone loves him and stuff like that, and we do love him when we see him. He's such a lovable character. But then as soon as he's alone, you get to see the pain that he carries, you know, and like Lee, as you
Yeah.
described, because we'll get into that right now. I want you to talk about that was Lee kind of brings that up. He's like, "You're nothing. You're this. You're that," and it kind of just aggravates it, you know. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
talk to
and
me
he
about
just
like yeah,
starts throwing forks.
yeah,
Yeah, it just so basically Michael was telling a story, and it's a story that what Lee says is like he's heard it like hundreds of times,
yeah.
right?
The
And
seven fishes.
yeah, the seven fishes, and Michael was like, it's okay, you know, like it's still funny. And then as continues, Lee just interrupts and just tells the entire story, and
Mm.
that basically makes Michael mad. And
Mm.
there's a beef going
Is
on
that how it
between
started? Is that how it started? Or was it like I think Lee was just talking, and then just Michael wasn't. Maybe I wasn't paying
yeah,
attention to that.
he just threw a
Yeah,
fork. He
yeah.
just threw
He
like
just
a
threw a fork
fork
at him.
at
Yeah.
fork at he just threw a fork at him, right? And then Lee just kind of like pushes like Michael like, all right, just throw the fork, throw it again, and we'll see. Throw it again, and we'll see. You know.
Mm.
So Michael's like holding the fork, and everyone's like telling him it's like not to do it, and then Sugar Natalie she's trying to calm Michael down. She's like, don't do it, you know, and because she's like this she's like their like sweet sister and all. So Michael's like kind of calming down. You could see like he still has the fork in his hand, but he's like not throwing it. He's like looking at Sugar, and she's like trying to calm him down. And then the mom walks in, the mom's like, oh, what's all the commotion, and also they all like kind of make it seem like nothing really happened and all.
Mm.
Mom sits down at the table, and she tells Michael first, I think, like, to recite the seven fishes story. So Michael's like, he doesn't want to do it, and what was his name, the cousin that did the
Uh,
story in the
it,
end?
it wasn't the cousin, but it was Michelle Berzato's husband. He gives the Seven
Yeah,
Fishes talk and stuff like that.
yeah,
And then I
yeah,
think
yeah,
from that talk, the mother starts crying, and then
yeah.
sorry, not Sydney, Sugar messes it up by
Sugar,
saying,
yeah,
"Are you
sugar messes
okay?"
it up. Yeah, by saying yes.
And then she just lets rip.
She
She's like,
loses.
so
She just
you and
loses
you
it.
and you and then Michael I think Michael threw the fork again. I think he threw the fork. It was like
Yeah,
this whole thing.
yeah. No, not right now. Not right now. So the mom actually
Mm.
walks out,
Yeah,
and then, like, as like everyone's like looking at the mom walking out, Michael just throws the
yeah.
fork at Lee. It
So
almost hits him. No, I think it hits him. This time
it
it
does.
hits him.
It does. They start to
But
fight, but
yeah,
then as the commotion
yeah,
happens, zoom
yeah.
into
The
the
mom
house, bro.
just
It's just
Oh,
yeah.
wild,
It was
bro,
insane.
wild. It
It was
was such
insane,
a
man.
wild episode. Like,
Mm,
I remember, like, I needed a break, like
yeah.
a few good minutes. Like, I continued the later episodes
Mm,
like a bit later,
mm,
but I needed a good like minute break
mm,
after episode six
yeah.
because it was just so heavy, like
Those
the
high
chaos
attention
and
moments are hard to absorb sometimes. You need a break. You need a second to just like you need a breather. You need like a minute to be like you know. But yeah,
it's wild,
yeah,
man.
man.
Such a wild. And then episode seven and eight, it's
Yeah, no,
basically their
that's like so. The rest of the rest of the season just kind of like it flies by after that. You know, we go
mm,
back to we go back to present day. They're starting the restaurant now. You know,
yeah,
they've passed all the
yeah,
tests. The restaurant's finished. Richie's learned everything that he needed to do. Richie's completely different. He's renovated character. You know, with a suit
yes.
on now and everything.
Mm,
And the finale just comes in and it starts, and you get like hints of that chaos starting again from like episode 7.
yes.
You know, that trauma's coming
Yeah.
back again. Sydney's traumatized by it. You know, there's some tension between her and Marcus. You know, and like Carmen gets locked into the walkway, and like that starts, and then
Yes.
like we end the season on like a very high stakes moment. You know, Claire leaves him. Uh, Carmen and Richie fight as always, but also it's just like the way it went. Like Carmen's like deeper,
This time it seemed like a very serious like
yeah,
fight
and like
because
yeah,
uh,
hmm,
it was just straight up serious because Richie was like asking Carmen, like, what do you say to
Claire,
Claire, and all, like, why is she crying, and Carmen just lost it. He
yeah,
just lost it completely. He's
yeah.
like, you shouldn't have never come. Like, why are you even working here and all
Mm.
that? You're like nothing, and
Yeah.
it's just I felt really bad for
Yeah.
Rich because surprisingly, I like I said, Richie was my least favorite character in season one, but by the end of season two, he's like one of my favorite
Yeah.
characters
Mm.
in the show.
You
Just like
understand more of
how
him. You kind of understand. You get his
mm,
character and his like
side,
season 2
yeah,
was like a deeper dive into all the characters. So you're kind of more Richie was the most closed off in season 1. And like season 2 is also a
mm,
deeper dive into his character, especially episode 7 that takes a deeper dive into his character and like who he is
yes,
and stuff like that and what he has to go through. And yeah, so season 10 so the episode 10 was just like a wonderful wrap up of all of that. Things were unraveling. I think we left
mm,
the season with everything just unraveled out in the open. We leave it on a like a really messed up note with Marcus's phone buzzing with notifications from the nurse. He's
yeah,
like, "Hey, the mom, come on!" It's like it's like
yeah.
respond. It's
Yeah,
clearly
something
something bad
happened.
happened to the
Like,
mom.
Marcus. Yeah,
Mm,
Marcus pick up
mm,
the phone.
mm,
That's what she's saying, right?
yeah,
So it's just and Carmen, like, he lost Clara due
yeah.
to his own
Words, his own words. You
mistake.
know, he made
Yeah,
yeah,
his own word. His
yeah,
own word. Yeah, it's and Carmen and Richie, they're fighting. They're actual fighting. Like
yeah.
we said, like the way they fought was completely different than their usual banters and all.
Mm.
And it's just Sydney, I think, had
She was
ended on a
fine
good note.
generally. I mean,
On
she ended on like
Yeah,
a somewhat okay
yeah,
note, but like I think she
yeah,
couldn't handle the responsibility too much, and so she broke down. And
Yeah,
so we kind
yeah,
of it did unravel for her in a sense because like she was like vomiting. She was like I don't think she
yeah.
was able to
But
handle
but
just
then her,
too much
yeah,
of that.
yeah,
She was
yeah. But then
basically
her
in
dad,
Carmen's
yeah, but
position. She was basically in Carmen's position
mm,
from in season one, like
yeah,
compared to that. It's the same
yeah,
kind of position. But yeah, like you said, her dad walks
mm,
in, walks out, and like he says, "I'm
mm,
proud of you," and like this is it. All that stuff. This is the thing. Which is a pretty good note for her to kind of end on. But yeah, it was still like a high tension moment and everything. But yeah, man, that was season
mm.
two. That was season two.
That was
Absolutely just
season two.
fantastic, man. Season three, I don't know when it's dropping. I think they're filming it right now. I think they announced like a casting thing. I don't know where I saw it. I'll pull it up. But in
Uh,
the meantime, bro, what are your predictions for season three?
Season three. All right. So first of all, the main thing I think is that Carmen and Richie they need to kind of hash it out. Like
Mm,
bros, they gotta stick together. They're cousins. Well, not really. They're like
mm,
best friends, but like on that level that they're cousins. That's how close they are. Uh, let's see what else. Carmen needs to hopefully, because I really like the chemistry between Carmen and Claire, so hopefully, like there's some kind of closure to that whole thing, because the way it ended, even if the relationship has to end, right? The way it ended was just
mm.
it was kind of
It won't
hard to
end. It
watch, in
won't
my
end. There's no
opinion.
way it's gonna end. Like for
Yeah.
sure, they're probably gonna get back together. I think so. But
Look, yeah.
hmm.
I just need is that there needs to be a talk. That's all I
Of
want.
course, there
Like
will be. Yeah,
there needs,
of course, yeah.
there needs to be a talk.
Mm,
Either it's like ending it, or like getting back together.
mm,
Sure, but like there needs, because they're just like I said. I really enjoyed the chemistry between Claire and Carmen.
mm,
It was a really nice, very natural chemistry, in my opinion.
yeah.
Sydney. I feel like Sydney might take over most of like Carmen's position, in my opinion.
Mm,
It's just
mm,
I feel, because there are newer chefs in the at the end of the show, right? It's season two. There are a few new chefs, few new recruits working in the kitchen. I feel like they might trust Sydney a bit more, just by
perhaps. Mm,
how she handled the situation.
yeah.
uh, Marcus, I hope his mom is okay. Like, because the way the show ended with, like, Marcus was it showed his phone, like the nurse was like, Marcus, please pick up the phone. It's your mother. That's all it said, right?
Mm,
It didn't say like your mother, like she's passed away, or like there's something else. It's just, I just hope like nothing really bad,
mm,
because Marcus is generally such a cool guy, in my opinion. Like I really enjoy it. I like watching Marcus bake cakes.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. So yeah, I think I kind of agree with you on a lot of that stuff, but I do think like okay, so season one was just setting up the idea that they're gonna build this restaurant. Season two was a deeper dive into the characters and who they are. I think season three will be focused more on their growth because like while they
Mm,
did grow a little bit, we kind of dived into their characters. It wasn't really entirely focused on that. We went to their background and like who they are and like their emotions, their
yes.
trauma, stuff like that.
Uh,
And I think
oh,
season
that's true.
three
That's
will
true.
be the build up. Season three will be like them kind of growing together now. It'll be like a thing where like Michael, sorry, not Michael, Marcus and like Carmen, all these characters will kind of they'll like progress in a certain way where like maybe we won't get like moments like the things that happen in season one episode seven or the finale of season two. Maybe we won't get moments like that again or something like that. You know, but yeah, it's like because clearly there are some still there are still some things that the Carmen and like Sydney things traumas that are unresolved that they kind of need to work on still, and I think that's what
Yes.
season three might focus on. Just kind of building those characters up and like strengthening their bond and their dynamic because you can tell that like they all have a lot of like some of them have a lot of resentment like carried inside. Like Sydney and like Carmen, you see when they talk like you can see that there's something pent up like Sydney wants to say something or Carmen wants to say something but
Mm.
they don't want to say it and they always end it with the chest rub thing like hey it's okay you know
Yeah, the chess.
yeah and like it's cool and all, but sometimes things need to be addressed. I think that's something that's very cool about the show. It's like discussing, it's like real life relationships. It feels like a real life relationship. So you can kind of see like, okay, like the thing that needs work here is that these guys need to communicate better, and like work together better and like kind of explain what they like. They did that a little bit in the episode before the finale where they talked to each other and they were like, I'm scared, I feel this, I'm in a relationship now, it's all real and like it's about to happen, stuff like that. So they shared such a beautiful moment, but it just falls apart very quickly whenever they're in like tense moments. And so
Mm.
I really think that maybe season three will focus on like making sure that they don't get there.
Part
Yeah.
of me wanted like it to end on episode 9, to be
Mm,
honest, because it felt like such
mm,
a really nice ending.
mm.
And
Very happy ending.
yeah, I just
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, season one had a happy ending, so we were bound to have one with like a cliffhanger type of thing. And so,
Mm.
so season two ended on that. We're really excited for season three, guys. Season three, you guys excited for it? The Bear in general. What do you guys think? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? What were your favorite episodes? Your favorite characters? Talk to us in the comments. We love engaging with you guys. We love talking to you guys. Uh, yeah, just anything that you guys think of. What are your predictions for season three? Let us know in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, a thumbs up. It would mean the world to us. And there's a button and it says subscribe on it. And if you click that, it would make our day. There's a notification bell right next to it as well. If you click that, that would be great as well. So again, comment, like, subscribe, notification bell. If you do those four things, I will buy each and every one of you a unicorn. I promise. But yeah, Wajid, do you have anything you
So
want to
we have
add?
a letterbox, we have a Twitter, and we have a TikTok account. So follow us over there. If you follow us on Letterbox, we will definitely follow you back. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's it for me, Mohammed.
Yeah, man. Okay, so yeah, guys, we'll see you guys with another review next time, right here in the Matrix.